Hi everybody, happy healthy alternative mom here, Ham, you know the deal. Just got back from jiu-jitsu, so of course you gotta take your shower, get all those nasty germs off, because Lord knows those mats are infested, even if they get cleaned. Sweaty guys, you know, it is what it is. But I am learning to kick your butt if you try to attack me in the streets, so don't even try it. Okay, so today I think I wanted to touch upon something I did mention in my last video. Just keeping with the theme here, or just keep it flowing. Why am I so itchy? Ugh, I think my skin's dry. Pollen's blowing everywhere. I'm a hot mess right now. Okay. So we all obviously love our children. They're our children. We grew them for 9 months, we're raising them, they're a little piece of ourselves, right? So there's no doubt we all love our kids. But I think the topic I want to bring up is, do we like our kids, right? Do we like spending time with them? Do we like their personalities? And what happens if we find ourselves, and maybe not even admitting it to anyone but yourself, finding yourself not really liking your kid? What do? How did you probably ask yourself, like, how did I get to this point where, like, I don't like my kid? Like, they're annoying, or whatever the reason being. You know, maybe they don't, you know, just think about the saying, like, living vicariously through your child. Like, our parents probably did it to us, like, I was a baseball player, so you're gonna be a baseball player. No, Daddy, I want to be a ballet dancer, you know. I think it's because we have this preconceived notion of what we expect our kids to be, right? We expect them to be just like us. We expect them to have similar interests, or we just expect them to, like, snap to. When it's time to sit, they sit. Time to eat, you eat. And oh, it would be so magnificent if they would listen to everything we said. But we all know that's really not the case. Some of us are lucky enough to have it that way. And honestly, my kid's pretty good. And I honestly, genuinely like my kid. But I can't say that about everybody's kid, you know? And not everybody can say that about their own kid. And it's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. Who knows, when my kid gets older, I might be like, really? That's what you like? Or just personality, like something about the personality where you're like, this is not someone I would normally spend time with, right? So let's think about how it gets to that point, right? Parents nowadays work a lot. We don't invest as much time into raising them maybe the way we want to. So they're left to daycare, nannies, other relatives raising them, right? And they don't get a lot of that one-on-one time with you. So a lot of times kids develop a lot of anxieties and start to whinge and whine a lot when they see you. And in a way, it's like they don't feel maybe that their needs are being met. Maybe creates more whininess, more attitude problems, or just more hyperness because they're like gunning for your attention. And essentially it's our fault, you know? If we're busy playing on our phones more than we think we are, or on the phone talking to our girlfriends or boyfriends, or, you know, taking too much time to make the house sparkling perfect at every moment, or basically using other things as a distraction other than dealing with the situation at hand. You know, we have this preconceived notion, I get married, I have kids, but, like, did you really think about it before you did it? Did you and your spouse really become on the same page about your parenting style? That's a big thing. A lot of parents, like, dad does things one way, mom does things another, and then there's these arguments that ensue. You know, I'm a single mom, but even so, me and my kid's father, we still talked a lot about how we were going to raise our kid. You know, we didn't, regardless of our situation, we made sure that we were on the same page and that we were going to support each other the best we could in the way each other handled a situation, and not in front of the child reprimand the other parent. Because then your kid is not going to listen to dad. If dad does something one way, and then right in front of your kid you say, why are you talking to him like that? Pull your spouse aside later and have that discussion. It's not something to have in front of the kid. Because then at that point, they know they can get away with more. They see they don't have to listen to daddy or mommy or whatever the case may be. It's a practice in patience and acceptance and awareness. Not being lazy and jumping to, quickly solve a problem really fast. Things take time. You have to flow. And you have to be receptive. Your spouse has to be receptive to what you're saying, even if they don't agree. You're both taking the time to raise your kids. So be fair with each other. You have to be fair. That's the biggest thing. I know it's hard. Hormones are flying, especially as a mother. It takes a long time to settle back down. And we don't realize that dads go through a type of postpartum as well sometimes. There's a lot of changes. Your wife is not the same, or whatever kind of relationship you're in, husband, wife, husband, single parent. But we're talking about, I guess, if you're raising a kid with two people involved. There's a lot of changes. Your wife is now acting different, or whoever you're raising your kid with. She's not giving you as much attention. She's giving it to the kids. And then we start to see our kids as a burden. And we're not giving them that kind of attention. So now they're just kind of feral and raising themselves in a way. And yes, no, we don't want to play hide and go seek for 6 hours. But who chose to have children? Some of us, it's an accident, we don't choose. But you didn't choose to terminate the pregnancy, so that in itself is a choice, right? You didn't give your child up for adoption, so you're the responsibility. And it's not like a movie. We think everything's a movie. Oh, I get married, I have a kid, and everything's hunky-dory, You have to create that environment. You have to be like a hawk, like on it, aware. Okay? And so essentially what I'm saying is creating these like environments and these roadblocks creates anxiety within ourselves that maybe we're not doing something right. But remember, your kid loves you no matter who you are, what you are. Just think about your parents. You didn't care if they were wearing makeup or what they wore or what they looked like. You just loved mommy and you just loved daddy. Not all of us have the best relationship with our parents, but let's just speak generally. Kids just love their parents. They just want to spend time with you, whatever that is. So if you decided to have sex, get pregnant, or not decide, sometimes those things, bad things happen to good people, and we get pregnant, varies of different ways. But if you're having a child and now you want to be mommy and daddy, do the right thing. The more you involve your kid in your life, or you get involved in their own life, they'll like you more and you'll like them more. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself not liking your kid because of their personality, they're whining, they're whinging, spend more time. It takes time, just like learning something else. Just because it's, learning a sport or learning, a new trade. You start as a white belt, okay? Work your way up. Put in the effort, put in the time, do the work. And eventually things will probably turn around. And maybe you won't hate your kid as much. And, that happens too, like when you just don't like somebody else's kid even. Their personality is just all wrong. Or like for you, you're just not like clicking, or they're just like annoying to you. it's not so much that you don't like the kid, you probably don't like the way the parent is raising the kid, and that's what's creating that monster. Flies smacking me in the head. So essentially, you know, let's just say you don't like somebody else's kid, but somebody you have to be around. Again, spend more time with them. Put the work in. And then create a bond so that it's at least a tolerable situation. You know, kids gain these anxieties because their needs aren't being met. You know, they're picky eaters because they just want the comfort food because mommy's not around. You know, it all is a cycle. Don't think that your kid's a picky eater, you know, just because. It could be because of other reasons, and it's been proven. You know, more hugs. Hugs prove a lot and do a lot for a kid. It's that comfort. They'll be willing to try new things and try more if you're showing them that it's not scary and giving them more time with you. So essentially, if your kid's an annoying brat and you're just like, spend more time. The solution isn't to get away, because then it's like, just remember being a kid and you're just like, oh, you're just waiting for the next thing. Their life isn't as complicated and isn't as involved. It's a lot simpler. So, you know, the key to that, like I said, is just spending more time. Look at this squinting. When it's overcast out, I swear you squint more because it's just so much brighter. Ugh, hot mess today. Anyway, give it more time, put in more effort, and I guarantee you'll take away a lot more than you thought you would. It's not fun. Taking the garbage out isn't fun. Doing the dishes isn't fun. Sometimes doing things with your kid aren't going to be fun. But you know what? Don't be so selfish. Don't be so lazy. And put in the work. And I guarantee you will make a friend for life. All right? Mama told you. All right, bye. You look beautiful. Mwah.